understand that there are a number of you.
Here we go again. His own home state.
I understand that there are a number of you. I understand that. I understand that some of you feel as though that the McMahon-Helmsley faction last Monday on Raw just wasn't fair to Chris Jericho.
Well, it wasn't. Oh, listen to you.
I understand that many of you feel as though since the McMahon-Helmsley faction made Chris Jericho compete on 3 different occasions, defending the Intercontinental title until he lost it, that it just wasn't fair.
Is that what you think, Cole?
That's right.
Well, that's just too damned bad. Because if you don't think it was fair Monday, you're probably the same kind of people who wait in line. You'll wait forever in line, like sheep all lined up. You'll wait in line, waiting your turn, and then you'll see someone like myself very aggressively cut in the front of the line, and you'll say, wait a minute, that's not fair. And what about the parking lot? We've all been there. There you are patiently waiting for your little parking space, and it suddenly appears. You start driving your car up, someone zips in, cuts you off, parks their car, and you say, wait a minute, that's my parking space. That's not fair.
Not fair, not fair. Will you stop?
What about on those few occasions when you will honestly and objectively look into the full-length mirror?
Oh, boy.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And you women look into the mirror and you look at yourselves and you say, look at the cellulite hanging from my hips and my buttocks. That's not fair. And you men won't even come close to the mirror.
That's you,
But
Michael.
on that occasion when you might just take a quick glimpse, you say, that can't be me. No, that can't be me with the pot belly and the small genitalia. Oh, no, that's not fair.
It really is you, Michael.
And you look at yourselves. Go ahead. Look at yourselves. Look at the person sitting next to you. Yeah, look at him. Look at the person sitting in front of you. Go ahead. Look at all of you.
You bunch of pigs.
You look at yourselves and you compare yourselves to the beautiful people here in this ring, and you say, that's not fair.
Look at these bunch of nutmegger pigs.
And forget about the looks. What about the money?
Oh, the money.
What about the money?
That's what it's all about.
Not fair, huh,
You
Michael?
scrimp and you save. You work yourselves half to death, and still you can't afford what you really want.
Guess what?
That's not fair. It's not fair that some people are rich and you're not. That's not fair. And you know, you have to face the facts that the vast majority of you are just born with inferior DNA.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
And you say, it's not fair I'm born with inferior DNA. But you feel sorry for yourselves, you wallow in your self-pity, and then you have to face the facts that life is not fair.
I like Stephanie's DNA.
And some of you, a select few, you might as well go ahead and admit it. You might as well own up to the philosophy for some of you, and that is that life sucks, and then you die.
Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Okada. Delete! What is it, Vince? Can I suck your dick? What is it, Vince? that this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Man, I could have chosen any one of his promos back in the day, and I could have really got my point across for what I want to talk about today that I find very hilarious. Something that Bruce Prichard actually talked about on Something To Wrestle with. Vince McMahon's promo, the Life Sucks promo on SmackDown, where he was talking about how things aren't fair. I went with that one because I felt like that was the one thing that would probably be a nice comparison to what Bruce Prichard was talking about. I was going to go with the one where he had everyone standing on the apron of the ring on SmackDown during the Ruthless Aggression era promo, where he was talking about how he killed the United States government, how he destroyed WCW, and how he's looking for someone who has a ruthless aggression. I was going to use that one, but I felt like the Life Sucks promo was a little bit more relatable to what I want to talk about here. And really, there is no news, but I find this to be not really news, but just a perfect, I guess, topic that kind of coincides with how WWE right now is portraying their television shows and how they don't really give a shit. Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about sending anyone home happy. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I figured the Life Sucks promo that you guys heard in the beginning of this show was a perfect kind of segue into this story about Vince McMahon not giving a shit about the fans. So we're going to talk about that, man. It's been a slow Sunday. There really isn't any major news stories. I got a bunch of minor news stories we're going to go over today on Off the Script. This is episode 247, part number 3. To close out your weekend, man. So thank you guys so much for joining me here on the podcast. If you missed parts 1 and 2, that stuff is on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Links will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure you guys check out everything else as well, man. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT. I have a Call of Duty live stream, and I have a WWE 2K19 My Career Mode. I have 2 episodes of that this week alone. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. If you are indeed subscribed to the YouTube channel, man, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. We are nearing 101,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Twitter is the best place to follow me because not only do you get a glimpse into what I'm thinking when these shows are happening, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, got the Survivor Series and TakeOver coming up. I'll be live tweeting during both of those shows. But it's a great way to be notified of when I do upload new content or when I go live on YouTube with streaming as well as Twitch, man. So follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Best place to find me. Subscribe down below. Hit that subscribe button and give that bell. Turn on that bell for all notifications, man. Give that bell the middle finger. And make sure you guys turn on all uploads that you want to be notified of all my uploads. And if you guys want to subscribe to the Patreon page, man. Patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. I want to shout out a few people for pledging to the Patreon page. Hunter Wright, he actually raised his pledge to $9, upped it from $7. Hunter is the one who works for Sportskeeda. He writes for Sportskeeda, and we shouted him out on Wednesday's NXT review. He has a new article up. The 5 next NXT superstars he sees as becoming NXT World Champion. So go check his stuff out. Go check the NXT review out. Link will be in the top of the comment section of that video. He upped his pledge to $9, man. So Hunter, thank you so very much, man. Video Gaming for You pledged $5. Thank you so much, brother. And we got Jakari Scott pledging $5, man. So thank you guys so very much for pledging to the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Barbershop window, you guys know the deal with this, man. Black Friday's coming up, but don't wait till Black Friday. You guys can save a ton of money on my merchandise right now. If you go to barbershopwindow.com/offthescript, use the coupon code BSHOP20 for 20% off. We have the new 100,000 subscriber commemorative t-shirt available now, exclusively only on barbershopwindow.com. As you see it right there, man, the Puppet Master in full effect. I think this is going to be a big seller, man, going on into the new year. It's already the number one seller right now on Barbershop Window. It's a take on Master of Puppets by Metallica and Iron Maiden. So a mixture of those two gives you this heavy metal-esque inspired design, man. So that is a great looking design right there. Probably the best looking design that we have on the entire shop. That is on barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. 18 designs in total. The best t-shirts in the podcast game. No question. So make sure you guys go get your t-shirts and use the code BSHOP20 for 20% off. Harry's is giving you guys two special offers, man. Harry's is the official sponsor of Off the Script. Number one, you guys are going to go to harrys.com/script. You're going to get a free trial shave set. You guys can choose from 3 different colors, blue, orange, and green. You guys are going to get a razor blade, a razor handle, a protective case if you guys love traveling, protective case for your blade, and a 2-ounce bottle of the foaming shave gel, which soothes, hydrates, and it feels fantastic and smells fantastic on your skin, man. You guys are going to go to harrys.com/script. You're going to enter your information, and all you guys have to do is pay the $2 or $3 shipping and handling, and you will have this delivered within mere days to your mailbox, and you're going to have the best shave of your life, man. I never stamp my name to anything that I do not use, and I feel like you guys will not find use in. Plus, I use it as well, and I think the product is absolutely quality, man. harrys.com/script. Go and get your free trial shave set. It's a great way to support the show for getting something for free, man, literally doing absolutely nothing. Also, the other offer that Harry's has this holiday season, if you go to harrys.com, they are going to provide you with $5 off a huge holiday set, man. There's 2 different offers, one for $25 and one for $35. And you guys get a lot more bang for your buck, and you can save $5 off if you use our unique link, man, harrys.com/script. Believe me, I use it every week. It is the best shave that I've ever had, and it's going to be the best shave that you've had as well. Makes a great gift, makes a great stocking stuffer for the holiday season coming up. And ladies, you are not alone here. You can use this as well. It could go both ways, and the ladies could use this product just as good as the men. Believe me. harrys.com/script for your free trial. Go and just support the show through Harry's, man. It's a great way to support the show. Let's get on with the podcast, man. Let's talk about this Vince McMahon story here, covered by Bruce Prichard of the Something To Wrestle With podcast with Conrad Thompson. Vince McMahon doesn't care about sending the fans home happy. I find this to be something that we've already come to understand, especially in the current state of WWE. And it's just humorous that Vince McMahon just caters to one, himself. He doesn't give a shit about anybody else. He's got a bunch of people doing shit for himself. He might listen to you, but it doesn't matter because the show is booked for an audience of one, and that is Vince McMahon. And then you wonder why the ratings are declining every single week. WWE used to have only a limited number of chances to entertain fans, but now it seems like they might have too many. With so much content available on the WWE Network, it's almost impossible for fans to be able to watch everything that's available to them, no matter what kind of ending a match might have. Back in the day when WWE was touring house shows, they wanted to leave fans happy and wanting another show as soon as possible. Seems the company has drifted away from this logic in recent years, as Bruce Prichard explained on Something To Wrestle With. Vince McMahon has been using this idea for a very long time now. He says, and I quote, "When Vince went national with Hulk Hogan, it was always leave them happy, leave them up, no matter what. That changed when we went to the monthly pay-per-views, and the philosophy has changed even more so now with the WWE Network. They're trying to get heat. They're trying to get people not satisfied with those big shows so that they'll come back to see their hero or whatever return later on down the road." End quote. This mindset is exactly the reason why WWE booked Dean Ambrose to turn on Seth Rollins after winning the Raw Tag Team titles on the same night that Roman Reigns announced he would be taking a hiatus due to leukemia. WWE really likes messing with their fans at this point, so they'll keep coming back. The biggest problem is that in a world like pro wrestling, you never know what could happen to prevent a longer storyline from becoming one that could have a conclusion. But it looks like this strategy isn't going to change anytime soon. You know, I don't give a shit if Vince McMahon doesn't want to send the fans home happy. I just want fucking Vince McMahon to listen to the goddamn audience. I don't give a shit what we see at the end of the show. I don't care. I just want something that's going to make sense. You know? And the biggest example that I could use is Roman Reigns. Nothing that happened with Roman Reigns made any sense whatsoever. None. And it was clear as day what people wanted and who people wanted every time Roman Reigns was in the main event. No matter who was in the main event, you could put the biggest heel in the company against Roman Reigns, and that biggest heel in the company would become the biggest babyface of the night, and Roman Reigns would be the one heel. They don't listen to the audience. When people were cheering for Roman, you know, when people were cheering for, I think the best example that I could come up with is not even the WrestleMania ones. The biggest example that I could come up with is the Royal Rumble, where Roman Reigns defended the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble, coming out at number 1. And everybody figured that he was going to win the Royal Rumble. And then when he got taken out by the League of Nations and he was escorted out of the match, people knew that something was fucked up. Then he comes back in this Superman-like role, and literally no one in that arena wanted him to win the match. No one in that arena wanted him to win that match. And then he got eliminated by Triple H. The fans went crazy. Everybody in that arena on that night wanted Dean Ambrose to win that match. Everybody. And when Triple H won that, people kind of knew where this was going. Roman Reigns was eliminated by Triple H. Triple H is the WWE champion for the transitional title reign, and then Roman Reigns is going to get it back at WrestleMania, which resulted in probably one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. That's only one example of Roman Reigns. That is an example that WWE didn't capitalize on. You know? Roman Reigns coming out at number 30 in the Royal Rumble when they were in Texas. 60,000 fucking people booing the shit out of Roman Reigns. He comes out at number 30. Meanwhile, he's got a fucking championship match earlier in the night. When has that ever happened? And those are only just some examples where the fans were left unhappy. Every single time the guy was in the main event, the fans were left unhappy because you knew what the fucking outcome was going to be. I don't give a shit about not being sent home happy. I just want things to make fucking sense. I want things to be presented in a manner in which it's not forced. I want this show to be booked for the fucking people. I want this show to be booked with storyline continuity, you know? I just want the storylines to fucking gel from week to week to week to week. I don't want storylines presented one week and then abandoned the next. I want wrestlers positioned and moved up. I want to see growth of wrestlers on this show. Excuse me. I want to see wrestlers mature. I want to see the road that these individuals take to get to the top. WWE doesn't do any of that. They forget about everybody else and they book to who they want and fuck the fans. It's absolutely disgusting. The WWE takes the fans for granted. And it's just a shitty mentality. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you want to get to them, then don't watch. Then don't buy their merchandise. A lot of the WWE fans are gullible. I don't buy WWE-inspired merchandise. I barely have anything in my closet inspired by WWE on WWE Shop. I have a CM Punk shirt that I wear more than anything else. The Best in the World t-shirt. And the only shirt that I recently bought from WWE Shop was the new Ciampa t-shirt. That was it. Those are the guys I want to represent. And those are the guys I want to support. WWE doesn't care. Vince McMahon doesn't care about sending fans home happy, man. This is something that we've known, but it's not even that. I don't like WWE sending, the message of, oh, we don't give a shit about the fans. Or I don't like WWE taking the fans for granted. I don't like WWE, going out there and thinking that their fans are fucking stupid. Like they could get one over on us or pull the rug over our eyes. I don't like that, man. And when we watch these shows, more and more people are opening up to what they do and the mentality of these people that run this show and run this business. And that's why people are fucking leaving. How many fucking weeks in a row do you give us the same fucking shit? No wonder people are so disenchanted with this product. It's not about sending the fans home. I don't give a fuck what closes the show. Just have it make sense. Have it be a situation where it's not forced. WWE needs to start listening to the fans more so than any other time period in this company. And they refuse to do so. Did they listen when Becky Lynch was being cheered? No, they continue pushing Becky Lynch as a in-betweener or a heel. Did they listen with Roman Reigns? No. They were going to get Roman Reigns over by any which way possible, and they didn't give a shit if you liked him or not. They were just happy that you were giving him a reaction. Meanwhile, nothing about Roman Reigns made sense. Nothing. He was a not believable character. He was not a believable character going into a feud with Brock Lesnar. He was in main eventing over the WWE Championship on nights when Brock Lesnar wasn't there. And the fans picked up on that. The fans knew what was going on. The WWE thinks their fans are stupid. These are just some examples. These are just recent examples. You could probably fucking make a 6-hour-long video based on the fucking examples back in the, in the years prior to what Vince McMahon does, not giving shit about the fans. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So Vince McMahon doesn't care about sending the fans home happy. No shit. The fans aren't happy about the show. Vince doesn't care because he's making all the money. He books the show pretty much as his own playground. We all know this. And this is what's going to kill the company in the end. This is what's driving people away more and more. And I don't know if there's a way out for WWE right now. I think fans right now are so disenchanted with the product that the fans that have left, it's going to take a very, very long time for them to come back. And even when WWE puts on a good show, they don't know that the WWE's put on a good show because those fans have already left. Why are you going to watch a show that gives you the same Monday Night Raw every fucking week, and then when we get a new show, something good, that fan isn't watching because you drove him away with 6 weeks of the same fucking shit? And then in the 7th week, maybe you get a great fucking Monday Night Raw out of nowhere. That fan's not going to know. WWE needs to get back on caring about what the fans think. Seriously. I don't give a shit about being sent home happy. Okay? I'm just talking about the main event. Like the Roman Reigns situation. I just want things to make sense. I will be happy if the entirety of the show is booked logically and makes sense and doesn't insult my intelligence. I don't give a shit about being sent home happy in the main event. I just want things to fucking round out and make sense. I want everything to fucking make sense on this show. Which barely anything of it makes sense. So, let me know what you guys think about that. Vince McMahon not caring about the fans, sending them home happy. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section below. Speaking of Raw, the possible strategy that WWE might use to get rid of the Raw overrun. Now, I am happy that they're getting rid of that 5 to 15 minute overrun that they usually do on the USA Network because, realistically, who the fuck cares? You were so done with the show after 30 minutes. You're going to sit through fucking 3 hours of it? Now, I have to because I have to cover the show, but a normal fan watching the show, who's going to watch till 11:15 on normal weeks? No, you're not. You're going to go get some sleep. You're going to go play Black Ops 4 or Red Dead Redemption or WWE 2K19, whatever, But WWE's been using the overrun, and they might have a strategy to get rid of the overrun on Monday Night Raw. Raw will end at 11 p.m. sharp this week, and it will be that way from this point on. WWE initially started using the overrun after 11 p.m., which usually lasts from 5 to 15 minutes as a strategy to beat WCW during the Monday Night Wars. but they continued it on even after stretching the actual show to 3 hours for whatever reason. I don't know why. Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live that WWE might have finally decided to 86 the overrun because they are trying to draw people into their third hour and possibly use an overrun rating spike to those people to have them tune in sooner. He says, and I quote, a lot of people probably give up on Raw in the third hour. I think he's being very generous there. They give up after the first hour. But he says they probably give up on Raw in the third hour, and probably there is a bump for the overrun where people come back to find out what's happening at the end of the show. That, I'm sure, is great, but then they go to what's on the USA Network next, and I'm sure those people don't stick around. My theory about this is they figure that if we get rid of this overrun, everyone will probably, have to watch the third hour to find out what's going to go on in the end or what's going to happen at the end of the show, and that will help bump the third hour rating. That's the only thing I can figure out. There hasn't been a reason for a Raw overrun in I don't know how long, 18 years? Once Nitro ended, what's the point of going long? There is no point in going long. End quote. Only time will tell if this strategy will be a success. After all, WWE has tried a lot of different strategies to get viewers, but hopefully it will make a difference, and then Raw could possibly become a better and tighter show overall, thanks to nixing the overrun. No, it's not going to become a better show because of the overrun gone missing. It's not going to become a tighter show. The show fucking sucks as soon as 8 p.m. starts. It's the same formulaic garbage every single week. This show will not get better unless things change. The formula needs to change. They are so comfortable in their own ways that they are afraid to make certain changes to this show. How about opening the fucking show with a great match instead of going into a 20-minute winded fucking promo and then have it become a tag team match in the main event? That is fucking garbage. It's not the way I'd book Monday Night Raw. It's not the way I'd book Monday Night Raw at all. This show needs an entire facelift. From opening intro, there's no intro to the fucking show to get you hype. There's no theme song. What happened to all that? I loved in the Attitude Era where you used to see especially the Attitude Era. Where you got everybody that's prominent in the Attitude Era fighting in a fucking warehouse with fiery oil barrels just laying around in a ring. And then there's a big explosion, Raw is War. What happened to that type of shit? There's no intro anymore. The only intro we get is Michael Cole coming on in. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. The biggest weekly episodic TV show in history. The longest weekly episodic TV show. Who gives a shit? Enough with your statistics. Get me excited about the show. Instead of giving me a fucking long-winded segment with nobody that we give a shit about like Baron Corbin, why don't you start the fucking show off with some high-octane action that's going to get people interested in the fucking show? Or a major angle, or a backstage segment where the show starts off chaotic. Switch it up. It's the same shit every fucking week. The WWE brought the cruiserweights in for a reason. The WWE has mishandled the cruiserweights until Triple H took over 205 Live. All of a sudden, the cruiserweights were not on 205 Live anymore for probably a good reason, because the people on WWE Raw, the management, you got guys like that who don't like wrestling, who don't appreciate wrestling. They look at these guys as like, oh, look at this indie mark. Look at this vanilla midget. That's their mentality. Like, what is this guy going to do for us on Monday Night Raw? Do you know who we are? Do you know what show you're on? Yeah. Your show is a piece of garbage. It's the worst wrestling show on TV right now. The cruiserweights should be used, especially with what we're seeing now. Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali. Those are the guys that we need to see open the fucking show. Give me the intro. Give me a cruiserweight title match to open the fucking show, man. Just on a random whim. Give me a 20-minute match with limited fucking commercial breaks. 1 commercial break's okay. 4? It's the same formula every fucking week. What if a big angle like Dean Ambrose happened in the beginning of the show? Or that tag team match that closed the show happened in the beginning of the show right away after the intro. No promo, you got the match starting, and then that heel turn happens in the beginning of the show, and you have that whole fucking thing stretching out over the 2.5 hours, 3 hours of the show. Then you're wondering why, man, is Dean Ambrose going to give us a fucking explanation? What's Dean Ambrose going to say? What the fuck happened here? If something like that happened at 8 o'clock, finishing off at 8:30, I guarantee you're going to be more interested in watching 9:30, 10:30, up until 11 o'clock to hopefully get a Dean Ambrose explanation. And if he doesn't, maybe you tease it throughout the fucking show that leads into the next week. I don't understand why WWE gives you 16 segments on a weekly Monday Night Raw and maybe 1, 2 max are worth your attention. The show is fucking suffering. We never needed a 15-minute overrun. Never. It's just more bleeding on top of a bad fucking wound that won't heal. You're giving me 15 fucking minutes extra on a show in which I wanted to stop watching at 9 o'clock. Who's possibly going to give a shit about 11:15? And then what you do at 11:15 is you're not giving me anything exciting. You're not giving me anything that's going to be like, man, I can't wait for next week. Everybody's same expression at the end of 11:15 is, holy shit, thank God this shit is over. Let me sit in front of this microphone at 11:30 on a Monday night and fucking rant for an hour on the show. Show needs a fucking facelift in every possible way. Every fucking way. It's even at a point now where I was watching old Attitude Era clips and matches just recently. Just clearly the crowds are different. That had a lot to do with it, but the overall just appeal of the fucking show was just so much better back in the day. It's like they got worse as we got to 2018. The visual of the show is absolutely fucking insufferable to look at. The logo, the staging, everything looks the same from every show. There's no identity with these shows. Raw, back in the day, had an identity from SmackDown. The pay-per-views had a different identity compared to the weekly shows. That don't happen anymore. You don't think that's an important aspect of it, but to people like me and a lot of people, they like to see, different identities from different shows. When you're watching the same fucking shit every week, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, you get the same feel like nothing's changed. What am I watching? Every show feels the same. Not one show sticks out as being more important than the other. If there was a different identity for these shows, and I find this to be a very important aspect, you might have a different look on the product. If your eyes gravitate to the same thing every fucking week on every show, you're going to become disenchanted with it eventually. Now, if you're looking at a different set on SmackDown Live, it's going to give you a sense of freshness. It's going to give you a sense of new. Oh, man, I can't wait for SmackDown. It's different. But then when you see SmackDown booked the same way as Raw, with the same fucking set, only blue instead of red, it's just terrible, man. It's just it's the sameness that just fucking gets to me every single week. That's why I want NXT every single week. More every single week. It's just fresh. It's fresh. On top of that, they're making you fucking care about the show week to week. They give you characters that they invest their time and care and love in. They give you cliffhangers. They care about what's happening, not only storyline-wise, but what's happening in the ring as well. They don't do that on Monday and Tuesday night. It's just disgusting, man. They're overrun. I'm thankful the overrun is gone. That's step one. Step two is getting this show from 3 hours down to 2. Simple. If this show was 2 hours, the drastic change in the quality of the show, man, would be felt after 1 week. They need to go to 2 hours. I don't understand, with all the money that they're making, how they can continue to give me 3 hours on Monday Night Raw. How USA called for this brand split for SmackDown Live to be competitive with Raw, right? And be live, just like Raw is. And Monday Night Raw had to abide by USA Network and what they wanted, giving us the brand split, and how USA is looking at Monday Night Raw now, how they could even be pleased with what's going on. How they could pay billions of dollars for this product in its current state and not chime in, Finch, you got to change something. Are the people on the network, are the network executives, the higher-ups watching this show? They want to institute change, so why don't they institute change that's going to better the fucking show? That's going to generate better ratings for them and more people watching the USA Network. Maybe those people in turn would watch something else on the USA Network. I don't understand why 3 hours is ideal for this show. Who on earth thinks this show at 3 hours is doing good? No one. Come on, man. Raw has to be fixed. And the more I speak of it, the more I get angry and the more I get frustrated, the more I know it's not going to happen. Speaking of SmackDown Live, man, Nikki Cross future on SmackDown Live is not looking too good. Brian Alvarez discussed Nikki Cross on the Wrestling Observer Live this weekend. That WWE's track record has set a dangerous precedent which might keep Nikki Cross from climbing the ranks even before she has a chance to really go on SmackDown Live. He says, and I quote, this is why I love Alvarez, man. Alvarez doesn't hold anything back. Everybody was so mad about Nikki Cross going up to that SmackDown show, getting beat by Becky Lynch. I mean, get ready for it. Everyone knows deep down, no matter what, you know, it's going to happen. Everyone knows what Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn are looking for in a WWE Women's Superstar, and we know what they're going to do with Nikki Cross. We all know this. It's wrong, but it's going to happen. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying anything bad about Nikki Cross. I think Nikki is a great wrestler. She's pretty. She plays her character great. She's my grandma's favorite wrestler, in fact. But she's not a blonde fitness model with implants. Have you looked through WWE history? Have you looked at who gets the title and who has the biggest pushes? End quote. Mic dropped. Could I have said it any better? I've been saying it for fucking weeks now. I've been saying it for fucking weeks. Meanwhile, people think I'm hating on Alexa Bliss. People think I'm hating on Charlotte. People ask me, JD, why are you lobbying for Sasha Banks and Bayley and Ember Moon and Ruby Riott and Toni Storm and everybody else? Why? Because they are the superior athlete. Charlotte, I mean, look at Charlotte in NXT compared to now. Look at the difference. Google the difference. Does that even resemble what you remember in NXT? She was asked to do that because that's what they want to push. They want to push blondes with fucking breasts the size of fucking flotation devices. It's fucking ridiculous. That's why Charlotte is where she is, on top of that being a flare. Alexa Bliss got implants. She's blonde. She's got a big ass. That's why she's pushed. And if you don't like what I'm saying right now, tough shit. Why isn't Sasha Banks pushed? Because she don't look like Alexa Bliss. Why isn't Bayley pushed? Because she don't look like Alexa Bliss. Why isn't Ruby Riott pushed? Why isn't Ember Moon pushed? Because she don't look like Alexa Bliss. You know? Look at Carmella. Did Carmella get pushed for any other reason except that she's a hot blonde or was a hot blonde, now changed her hair color to red or burgundy or whatever the fucking color she's got? Big tits, nice ass. That's why she's pushed. Why isn't Asuka pushed? Why isn't Naomi pushed? Naomi's got big tits. Naomi's got a nice ass, right? Because she's black. That's another fucking story for a different day. And that's the God-honest truth as well. You know? Why isn't... I'm surprised Peyton Royce is not pushed. Maybe soon. Maybe they'll realize what they got in Peyton Royce. Oh, she's got big tits too. Billie Kay? Why isn't she pushed? Look at everybody in NXT. What does this mean for NXT? What does it mean for everybody working in NXT? What about Candice LeRae? You're not going to push Candice LeRae because she don't got big tits and a big ass? You're going to push Bianca Belair because she's got no chest. Right? This is a terrible mentality to think. Maybe Toni Storm would be good, better off on the main roster. Maybe she has a chance. But she don't have the big tits like Charlotte does or Alexa Bliss does. What's going to happen with all the women in NXT? What's going to happen to Shayna Baszler? Is she going to get pushed just based on her association with Ronda Rousey alone? Probably. Those are amongst the elite. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Why do you think Aaliyah transformed herself? Go back and watch Breaking Ground and look at Aaliyah then and look at Aaliyah now. Why do you think she got herself all dolled up? Because it's a better chance for her to get pushed in the WWE. This is the fucking current state of the company. This is the mentality of the people on the main roster where everybody comes at me and says, oh, JD's a sexist, or JD doesn't know what he's talking about, or JD hates women's wrestling. No, I hate the fact that the women's wrestling isn't being made a priority. I hate the fact that they're pushing blown-up Barbie dolls who are on total divas instead of the actual wrestlers in this company, which they have more so than the actual blow-up dolls that they have. It's the way of the company. Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon hate wrestling. They hate women's wrestling. They never appreciated women's wrestling. The initiative for women's wrestling only became a thing because of AJ Lee making a big stink about it to the company when she wasn't employed anymore, and they had to do something. So they were forced to make a change and portray the women in a similar way to the men, and they didn't want to do that. If AJ didn't speak up, would we be seeing an evolution right now? Probably not. Probably not. You think what NXT did all by itself would have transcended to the main roster? Probably not. They're forced to do that. They're forced to do that. You know, a lot of people tell me all the time that NXT caters to a certain niche audience, and the women are a part of that as well. The women are on equal playing level to the men in NXT. And when they hit the main roster, all that shit goes out the window. They send them off to get surgery done, and they get sent off to look like fucking Barbie dolls, and that's what WWE wants to portray on television. And the wrestling goes right out the window. If you don't see this on the main roster, then I don't know what the fuck you're looking at. You know? Give me a fucking break with this shit. This is so wrong in so many different ways. Like, who watching this show? Who watching this show doesn't think Sasha Banks is attractive? The way she looks now. Who doesn't think a Bianca Belair looks attractive or a Toni Storm looks attractive? You know how many people come to me on a weekly basis when I talk about Nikki Cross who are majorly attracted to Nikki Cross? Like, what is it about these women that doesn't make them attractive where WWE feels like they have to go and have them get surgery? Like, I don't understand that. I really don't understand the logic behind this. It's fucking ridiculous. And a damn shame that WWE is the way it is. And nobody's going to call them out on their shit. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Brian Alvarez mentioned this, man. This is exactly what everybody's thinking and what everybody is afraid to fucking say. I'm not afraid to say it, because it's the fucking truth. Moving on here. Talked about Monday Night Raw and how I would love to see great cruiserweight action open the show like we've seen on WCW Nitro back in the day. Kenny Omega actually challenged WWE Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy, who right now, in my honest opinion, is one of the best things that WWE has. Kenny Omega could very well be headed to the WWE for all we know. We don't know yet, but his contract's up in January. His New Japan Pro Wrestling contract is up at the end of January 2019. But he is still the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. However, it seems that he could be interested in taking on a 205 Live star if he finds himself in the WWE. One fan tweeted out saying that they are very impressed with both Omega and Buddy Murphy. After all, Murphy had an incredible story leading into the Super Showdown match with Cedric Alexander, where he won the Cruiserweight Championship in his home country. The fan went on to say that a match between Omega and Murphy would be one that they want to see. Omega replied, saying, "I did the weight drop thing just like Buddy for my chance. I'd love for him to get back to where he's comfortable and face him at full power." Obviously, Omega sees the benefit in having a heavier Buddy Murphy, as everybody should have. Murphy seems more than game to get back to heavyweight status and face Omega. Of course, if he gained weight back, then he might not be eligible to compete on 205 Live, but a match against Omega might be a very good trade. I would love to see that match, man. I think Buddy Murphy is one of the best wrestlers in all of WWE, period. That's how fucking good he is, man. The guy was a fucking needle in a haystack. He was wasting away on NXT with Blake and Murphy, that tag team that first introduced us to Alexa Bliss, and he was just held down and kept away, and he lobbied to be on 205 Live. Triple H gave him the chance, and my God, man, when you know you got something that you have to offer somebody and they don't want to listen, man, you're going to make your fucking point known. He got his point across, and boom. I guarantee you Triple H should be like, holy shit, man, I didn't expect that, man. Maybe WWE should start listening to fucking people and what they're really feeling. You know, they got a lot of guys like Buddy Murphy just fucking, you know, wanting to prove themselves like that. And they don't give them the opportunity to. Buddy Murphy is one of these rare cases, and I'm very, very proud of him, man. Seriously, he's He's a great worker, and I'd love to see him on Monday Night Raw just blowing everybody away. Guys like Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, man, they are good enough to be on Monday Night Raw and compete with the Zigglers and the McIntyres and the Rollins and the Eliases, and the Ballers. I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want to see a Buddy Murphy versus Finn Balor match or a Buddy Murphy versus Seth Rollins match? Those guys could tear the fucking house down. I don't know why we don't start seeing some of the cruiserweights, not every week. I don't want it to get stale and old and formulaic. Twice a month. Give me some cruiserweight action. Throw it in there on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. Give me a 20-minute match. Cruiserweight championship match. Instead of having it on 205 Live, put it on fucking Monday Night Raw. That's the way I'd book Monday Night Raw. I don't know about you guys, but Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy, man, take my money. I think that'd be a hell of a fucking match. WWE reportedly prepared to make WrestleMania 36 location announcement. We have the announcement, I don't know when it's going to be, but sometime this month. Could be next week during the WrestleMania online pre-sale party that they're having at MetLife Stadium. WWE likes to make big plans for their future, and the company looks onward towards the next year. It looks like we're going to get even more opportunities to see what they will be able to set up. WrestleMania 35 is already set, but they reportedly already have their eye on another big venue. Joe of the Barn Burners Fired Up podcast said that he heard WWE is in Minnesota soon, where they might be making a very big announcement for US Bank Stadium. He says, and I quote, look for it in the next 3 weeks. November 27th to be exact. WWE will having a show in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Then I hear that's when they're going to announce WrestleMania 36 in Minneapolis at the Dome there. The Minnesota Vikings play in that stadium. Look for WrestleMania 36 to be held in Minnesota. WWE has a lot of options where they can hold their largest yearly event. After all, plenty of cities bid for WrestleMania, and there is quite a long list. But apparently fans in Minnesota might be getting a pretty big surprise coming up very soon, man. I was actually very disappointed with WrestleMania being in New York, New Jersey this year because, I'd like to travel more for Mania season and meet more of you guys. But the fact that it's coming to Minnesota, man, I've always wanted to go to Minnesota. One of my favorite chefs is opening up a restaurant there. I like Bizarre Foods. Andrew Zimmern just opened up a new restaurant there in Minneapolis, and I want to try his cuisine. And I've always wanted to try a genuine Juicy Lucy. I know you guys are famous for that up there, but as long as you guys got good beer and some good craft beer, I am down. Plus, I know Ticket Drew's from Minnesota, so he's probably ecstatic about this news. So he don't have to travel at all for WrestleMania. He can party all week long for WrestleMania 36 right in his hometown, man. So it should be pretty exciting. I was disappointed when WrestleMania was announced in New York because, MetLife Stadium's a piece of shit, and I don't see New York being really exciting. I'm in New York all the fucking time. It's like, what is there to do in New York? We just had SummerSlam. What is there to do WrestleMania season that I couldn't do SummerSlam weekend or SummerSlam week? It's gonna be the same shit. Access is boring. I went to one Access in Orlando. Probably wouldn't go back again. I mean, maybe if they start doing what they did last year with the tournament matches. They had tournaments for the Women's Championship, the North American Championship, and I believe the Cruiserweight Championship. Or the Women's Championship, rather. NXT Women's Championship. There's a lot of NXT matches during that, WrestleMania Access. So it gives people an incentive to fucking go, because if you go every fucking year, it's the same shit, Expensive prices for food and getting autographs, and it's just, you see the Hell in a Cell structure and the Elimination Chamber. You could come out and do your own entrance with your own favorite WWE Superstar theme. It's the same shit, Really nothing special about Access whatsoever. It's just WWE's way to fucking sucker more money out of you. But if they put on great NXT matches like that, it gives people an incentive to come, because that's another weekend of great wrestling action that you won't see anywhere else. You didn't see any of that shit outside of Access. You got to pay a ticket to go to Access to go see that stuff. So I really like that decision, but the fact that it's in New York really doesn't excite me whatsoever. The one thing that excites me about WrestleMania weekend coming up in April is the House of Glory news that they just announced. Culture Clash 19. We got House of Glory plus a lot of major independent promotions. We got Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground. We got, I believe, Progress is going to be involved. Destiny up in Canada is going to be involved. Plus more to be announced. We got a lot of plans coming up for this huge event on WrestleMania weekend. That Thursday and Friday, right before TakeOver. So that's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Other than that, I don't really know what else is going on during WrestleMania week. So I wish it was in another city. So it gets me out of the fucking state, and it gets me away from the East Coast, and I can go, visit these other places and try new foods and drink new beer and meet new fans. That's why I love Chicago so much. When I went to Chicago for StarCast, the amount of people that knew me there and fucking welcomed me with open arms, man, was fucking humbling. Was great. And I love meeting you guys. So I can't wait to do all that stuff again, man. Hopefully with WrestleMania 36 in Minneapolis. Should be a good time. What is not a good time is WWE presenting us Bobby Roode and Chad Gable as a tag team. I don't like it. Never liked it. And I just hope that it comes to an end very soon. Dave Meltzer discussed the idea during Wrestling Observer Radio that they didn't tease a breakup like they had in the past between Roode and Gable. But as with anything else, only time will tell what happens as these two continue to team. He says, and I quote, the other thing, too, is the way that they did the finish of one of their recent matches. Roode kind of blind tagged in. I guess that does continue the storyline. It was so subtle, whereas in previous weeks, it was a lot more clear that they were building tension between the two. So, while a split of Gable and Roode might be on the way, it doesn't look like WWE is going to speed it up like they might have been in the past few weeks. However, if Dean Ambrose heel turn proved anything, it's that WWE can do whatever they want at any given moment. So therefore, we'll just keep paying close attention to Gable and Roode for a team as of now, but we're looking for Bobby Roode to fucking turn into somewhat of what we've seen in NXT, man. The guy never should have been brought to the main roster as a babyface. That's the fucking problem. The theme song has nothing to do with the babyface. Seriously. Vince thought it was a babyface theme. So they were presenting Becky as a heel, yet Becky's theme song is still the same. Very, very babyface-like theme. Sami Zayn's theme song is very singable, and he was a heel, right? They didn't change his theme song. So why the fuck are you changing Bobby Roode to a babyface from a heel because of the theme song? When it worked in NXT, why do they find what works in NXT, and when it gets to the main roster, they have to change it? Why do they feel the need to change it? The only thing that I can think of is, well, we didn't think of it, so let's fuck it over and ruin it. So then we can point fingers of blame at NXT. Look, it didn't work. This guy didn't work. That's the only thing I could think of. Spite. Bobby Roode is too talented and too good of a character to be wasting away with fucking Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw. When they got this guy from the draft, or the shakeup, I'm like, all right, Bobby Roode could be a great heel on this show. Let's do it. And WWE has completely wasted this guy on a show that needs fucking stars. You'd think they'd actually do the right thing by Bobby Roode. Look at them. The show is as awful as ever. Bobby Roode needs a heel turn ASAP. I don't know how many times I can continue saying it. Jason Jordan. Where's Jason Jordan? I actually miss Jason Jordan, man. I think he's great in the ring. And I would love to see him back, but his injury is still a serious issue in WWE. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio. He was asked about Jason Jordan's status, and he gave an update during Wrestling Observer Radio this past weekend where he didn't have the best news to report. He says, and I quote, I don't know that he's done, but the fact that you don't hear much about him is not good. It's for sure not good. He's still injured. He didn't lose his grip strength in one of his hands. I guess they're hoping he gets it back, but it's still a pretty serious injury, end quote. Therefore, reports that Jordan might never be cleared for an in-ring return very well might have some major weight to them at this point. He will remain out of action until it is deemed that it won't be a risk for him to compete. And with a neck injury, especially when he doesn't have much grip in one of his hands, it could be a sign of something really wrong, which could prohibit him from ever competing again. That would be a damn shame, man. That would be fucking awful for Jason Jordan. I don't never want to hear that or see that, but the guy's too talented to be out so soon, man. So I'm hoping for the best there. But that is all we got on Jason Jordan's injury right now for his status on Monday Night Raw. Finally, guys, NXT. We got TakeOver coming up on Saturday night. I will be reviewing it and doing the predictions on Friday's show, so look forward to that. But something that might spoil TakeOver, and I have not heard anything yet, which is good. WWE had an upcoming live event that will be taped for TV in San Jose. Now, on rare occasions, WWE is filmed elsewhere for NXT outside of Full Sail. In fact, cameras even caught the match between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor at NXT live event a few years back, which saw Joe beat Balor to capture the championship. That was in Massachusetts. And the company has now confirmed that NXT held a live event held a live event in San Jose, California. Actually, soon. It will be on November 15th. I'm sorry. It will be a live event on November 15th, and that will be a TV taping. They tweeted out the links to tickets, informing the fans of the taping. NXT Takeover War Games takes place on November 17th, just 2 days after this taping, scheduled to be held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Takeover is shaping up to be probably the best takeover show of all time, with huge rivalries expected to culminate there. So this show being held in San Jose could spoil some things happening at Takeover. Given that the show is so close to Takeover on the WWE Network, WWE could intend to swerve the fans with the NXT storylines, as unlike the monthly tapings, fans would not have much prior knowledge of what happened on the show. As long as I don't hear any spoilers going into Takeover, man, I don't think WWE's that stupid enough to spoil anything. So unless you're there, I'm pretty sure you'll probably get fucking tweets from the show and whatnot. As long as I don't hear anything, I'm staying off social media for the majority of that weekend anyway until Takeover happens. I don't want to know anything going into Takeover. After Takeover, I don't care. But as long as I don't hear anything going into Takeover, I should be fine. But good on you guys in San Jose. You got a special NXT taping there that you don't normally see outside of Full Sail University. So good for you guys, man. I wish we would get one of those on the East Coast. I'd be there in a heartbeat. But WWE NXT live event taped for TV 2 days before Takeover War Games, which I am fucking excited for, man. That card looks absolutely beast. I'm getting out of here, man. Thank you guys so much. Sorry for the short episode today. Not much going on, which is great to get an episode out on Sunday because I don't want to have this happen on Monday. I feel like the views suffer on Monday. Everybody's back to work. At least you guys are home on Sunday. Maybe the views will be a lot better on Sunday. So that concludes this weekend's Off the Script. If you enjoyed part 1, 2, and 3, especially part 3, let's hit that thumbs up, man. Thank you guys so much for all that. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BSHOP20. Harry's.com/script for your free trial shave set. And audibletrial.com/offthescript. 30 days free of their service. That includes 1 free audiobook just for signing up for free. And if you guys don't like the service, you guys can cancel within the 30 days and keep your audiobook for free. Over 200,000 choices to choose from on Audible service, man. Compatible with iPhone and Android devices. Once again, great way to support the show, man. The other big sponsor of the Off the Script podcast, audibletrial.com/offthescript. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you guys so very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. I will see you back with another week of content as we head into the Survivor Series on Sunday and Takeover War Games, the one I'm looking forward to most. Takeover War Games on Saturday. This Survivor Series weekend, upcoming weekend, man. Thank you guys so very much. Great week of content coming up. More Call of Duty, more WWE 2K19, more Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Off the Script, as always, heading into the pay-per-views this weekend. So look forward to all of that, man. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you back on Monday with a brand new week of content right here on the channel. I'll talk to you later.